PogChamp, Kappa. What's going on in my chat news? It's Team Fortress TV. Hello, welcome. We've got some new technology, as you can tell. I can see all of you playing with it before we even get to go live. So a nice little treat, I suppose, before a cast goes underway. Speaking of cast, we're going to be casting some ETF2L Season 26 powered by TT Sports. This is week 4 of our coverage. It's the wildcard week news. It's Product and Reckoner will be our maps, and our two teams will be ChampGG versus Nunya. All right.
Interesting two teams. I think two of the most, Brit-dominant teams in Prem. Nunya are the newcomers as of this season, and it's not been shaping up quite as they would have hoped. They've not been doing too well, but that being said, it's the wildcard week. Reckoner and Product, two maps that don't get played as much in Pugs or anywhere else really, so maybe Nunya can have an upset on Champ here. Do you have any predictions for this, TurboTabs?
Well, if I took a look at my TFTV poll booth bot, it's telling me that I should be voting for Nunya. That is the majority vote.
Really?
And yes, 63%, man. You can't argue with the numbers. So, of course, I'm going to raise my Kappa for Nunya. Speaking of Nunya, we probably should have a quick roster rundown. I think we've got a handy-dandy report as well, so I'm just going to pray to my production god to fish that out for us in the background. But in the meanwhile, over on the Nunya side will be Hems on Scout. Crafty, oh wait, we're going live. Disregard that. We're going straight into it, news. Disembark from your report viewing station and get jacked into a game of Team Fortress TV. It is time for our first map, Reckoner. It's week 4, ChampGG versus Nunya, and the first thing I'm seeing on middle is a slightly faster Odisky laying down some okay damage to start off the mid. But right now, both teams are just kind of waiting by. Walker's got a nice hiding spot ready and prepared to go for his first initial bomb, but it's kind of a lackluster bomb so far. He does get cleaned up, and the advantages are slowly turning the way of ChampGG, though, just from the DM prowess alone. Look at these two scouts. It's just one scout versus a scout and a demo man, and he will eventually pistol him down. Marosh just kind of asserting his dominance there in that final DM fest.
I don't think you could have seen a mid that was more about just raw DM. Both medics died to soldier bombs straight away at the start of the mid, so it was just a 5v5 fight of fragging classes, and in the end ChampGG win it. It was pretty close though. Credit to the Nunya guys, they gave him a good fight, but now we're sitting on even Ubers, and it looks like it's going to be a stalemate on second. I think ChampGG are peeking right side, they're looking like they maybe want to do something, maybe try and get an advantage to work with here. If I was them, I'd probably opt for arrow building and trying to push on an arrow advantage, but it doesn't look like they're going for that, TurboTabs.
Yeah, you can usually lose your head when you're in the fit of passion, and you're just trying to think about what you need to do for this next spot, and arrow building, it really only comes online once you have it quite pre-planned. You can't really do it in the moment, because by then you might think, oh well, we've wasted too much time now coming up with that idea. We can't really play off the advantage of arrow building alone now. So in the meantime, we will have a stalemate to just calm down that initial DM fest of the middle. Walker's going in for a walking bomb, but will get gunned down by Hems. And I just want to point out as well, we've got Crafty Dave in the server news. I've heard big things.
Yeah, I believe he's murking for Yumpu, who couldn't play tonight. I'm not sure why, but there's a bit of questions over whether it's an upgrade or, I think they play quite different styles. Crafty Dave's quite a ballsy, aggressive player, and I think if he doesn't go unchecked, then he might have some big plays this game. Speaking of big plays, Pappy has picked up the spy, and Walker switched to sniper after dying in that one sack. Walker's looking for a sightline on lower. He's just creeping around the corner, but I don't think he sees anything yet.
Oh, Pappy, you're not going to uncloak here, are you? That invisibility watch news is an absolute noisemaker. It just gets so loud if you uncloak behind somebody, and any competent TF2 worth their grain should hear that sound of that invisibility watch. So hopefully Pappy will think it better against uncloaking behind these players. But right now, it just looks like he's playing the security camera rather than the spy right now. Just coming out to his team what's going on with ChampGG.
Yeah, he's moving position now. He's creeping across the point.
Oh, he spotted his target. He wants it. He needs it. Turbo is the prime, I guess, target. Yeah, I can't think of another word for target, but yeah, he just wants that medic back in his knife. So hopefully he can posture for that, but he's a bit timid. He's planning very, very carefully. Oh, he's actually in Cloak Knight's dedicated, and he's trying to face stab Turbo. He's fluffed it already. Oh god, all that time wasted, dude.
Oh, that was dire. ChampGG didn't even expect the spy. They weren't looking around or checking anything. So he had a really good opportunity there, but he just messed up a little bit by walking into a couple of players rather than, backstabbing them. But we do have Walker still on the still on the sniper rather. So he's trying to peek through Toxic and get what pick that he might be able to. There's two players quite forward for Nunya that might be vulnerable to his snipes, but they're holding it pretty well. And again, it's still a stalemate. On the other side, we just see Ratslayer, who's also known as Bunny. He's just holding the choke at cargo. And again, there's not really many developments. They're just waiting for Walker to make a play.
Excuse me, I'm pretty sure that was Banny 420 to you, sir. Oh wait, is that a drop? I hear it in the distance. Tom has found the Corndog kill. Probably from the back end. Oh, Walker even getting a bonus rat as well. So now they just need to flood in with their heals, kind of blob up around Turbo, because that's the only thing that could go wrong with this plan here, News, is if Turbo dies during this capture of second. But he looks fine for now.
They do have Pappy behind, so he's going to try and slow things down, but he gets spotted by Funds as he jumps in and dies. There's some off-classing on Nunya, so maybe they'll be able to hold it. I think if ChampGG fail this last push, it might be because they have a sniper instead of a second soldier, but he does hit a headshot. Should good entry damage for them to go off, and they're walking on the right side. The Uber in. Odysseus coming in, he's locking off the spawn, and they deal with the sentry gun. Now they just need to play the point, and they can get this round. But the counter-aggression coming in from the Nunya soldiers. They're not putting out the damage to do it, and the frags are going the way of ChampGG.
Oh, it slowly starts to turn around though, News. Oh no, you say that, and then Walker takes out the heavy. I thought that heavy was going to do a beast amount of damage there, but silly me, I forgot about the Walker sniper. He will take out that remaining player, and the first round will comfortably go to ChampGG.
Yeah, the sniper working out quite nicely for them, actually. Usually it's not great pushing last, but I guess on open lasts and when they have heavy and whatnot, hitting nice headshots does make the difference. But going into the second mid, I think we might see some early soldier aggression again, TurboTabs, because it worked quite well for both teams last time.
Yes, but hopefully Walker can land a better shots than last time. I think the reason it went so well for Nunya is because his aggression didn't quite pay off as it usually does on other maps or other games. So you do see him fluttering about here and there, trying to find the opening. And even Tom is struggling to find a way in. He will go down first for this middle. And look at this huge Nunya blob. They're just defending themselves from all aggression. And finally the scout, Marosh, has punctured a little bit of the blob. But it's just way too big now. They've lost way too many players throwing at that huge thing. And they will lose that mid. A bit unprecedented here, News.
Yeah, they weren't really moving forward. And Nunya were just playing as a tighter blob and just killing the people, putting more damage out on the people that were aggressing onto them, whereas Champ were a bit hesitant, and I think Turbo and Funds died to stickies, so as a last-ditch attempt they just sacked in for the medic. And now they're setting up with a heavy NG and sniper to try and hold last. They might try some arrow building as well, they usually like to do that, but it doesn't look like it. So what Nunya really want to be doing here is supercharging in through getting past the choke point, stealing with the sentry, and while the Champ players try and
Pappy kill.
Yeah, so that should slow down the push, but they could still do it, and they're looking like they're gonna try. They're moving in top left here. Elin, Ratslayer, and Condog are walking in with the Uber charge. They don't kill the heavy. He managed to get away in the spawn. Now they have to deal with the sentry, and the sentry stayed alive for far too long. And now they don't have the. I don't think they can play the point quickly enough, and they're losing the fight. Frags going 3-4 going the way of ChampGG, and that was a beef last push if I ever seen it. I think it was a really good entry pick from Walker to delay the push, but yeah.
Yeah, the last defences for both of these teams is night and day, News. You can see the sentry gun is much better positioned on ChampGG. The sniper has been pulled out for ChampGG as well to add another layer of complication to that last defense as well, and they kept their heavy alive compared to Nunya. So again, ChampGG just kind of showing you how it's done on this reckon at last point. So they're trying to make the push out into middle now, but there's a pesky backcap coming from no less a spy. One of these EU gimmicks news.
Pappy's he's played quite a bit of spy actually so far. I think 2 or 3 times, I believe. Don't think any of them have worked, but now ChampGG are looking to take this point for free because they have a full Uber advantage. No one from Nunya should really be dying here, especially as they're 1 down. Now, because it's a small advantage, they need to be in here. There's no off classes, so they should pressure the point and force Nunya players to come to them. As they come in, Ratslayer gets isolated, and he's surely going to die to these Ubered players. He's staying alive for so long, and finally goes down. The Uber's almost coming out, and it comes out from Nunya in counter. And ChampGG just didn't get frags quickly enough, and they didn't play the point. It was the crucial mistake. That's what they needed to do, and now they're trying to aggress onto the ChampGG players in lobby and clean up some weak players, but there's nothing for them to do, and Pappy dies, being the only one forward on his team. So it resets at, even Ubers, but 2 players down for Nunya, so ChampGG are looking to make something happen, but there might be spawners coming in soon, TurboTabs.
Yeah, they just decided to play back for now, reassert their Uber back to its previous status, and Condog will do the same for his boys. But during all this time, I don't think they're just wasting it. They've got 1-0 up on the board already. If they really have to, they can just grind the clock down. But 20 minutes is a long time to do that, but it's an option to think about in the very late game.
Yeah, I think at this point they're probably happy to go back to the standard 7 meta of playing, where they just sack a soldier in, try and get a force, take an off class, and keep trying to make things happen one at a time. Walker's moving into lobby. It looks like he's getting ready to go for this sack, and the rest of the champ players are just holding second. He's been spotted and they're trying to spam him, so I don't think he's going to be able to get anything with this. And yeah, he does decide to back out and get heals before he recommits. So yeah, just more stalemating, and there's not really any counter pick classes for Nunya. I'd like to see a spy or sniper while holding glass, just to try and make something happen, because if they don't, they might just be holding this last at 1 point down for the rest of the game. But ChampGG are coming into lobby now, TurboTabs.
Yeah, I can attest to being proactive when you're out at this last point. It's good to kind of make situations for yourself, because not all, especially these higher teams, will not give these out for free, especially if they're following the Cadus rulebook of never giving up an advantage once you've got them in this position. I mean, if they're really pushed to it, I guess they could just wait out that 7-minute round timer and just have the entire round reset.
Could do. It was at I-52, I think, that was the first time it ever happened, and since then the game's slowed down a lot more.
No, it has happened in the past, like before that. It's never been, it wasn't a never thing, but that was the famous one, I guess, a famous reset.
Yeah. But I think I've seen it quite a lot this season and last season.
Yeah.
Because it used to be very rare, but now it's happening quite a lot with the amount of stalemates that happen on the way 5CP's played these days.
I think ChampGG have even slapped themselves out with the round reset, and it is a very good design. I think it's just to make sure that these things don't happen for indefinite reasons, and it's just another toolkit for the last people as well. But it does forfeit a lot of time, though. That is the disadvantage of it. So you're going to have to really nail that next middle if you do go for this round timer play.
Yeah, and I don't think ChampGG have been too confident on the middle so far. They've been very messy. I think Nunya are a bit more coordinated with their mids, but they're not really getting as much done with it. A couple headshots coming out from Walker, who was peeking top left, but nothing for them to be able to push off of. So they're just trying to get him some position on the right side, and he's walking in. There's nothing but Crafty Dave on the right side of the spawn, and he just died to stickies from Ratslayer.
So it will go back to the grind, but interesting point I want to bring up with you, News, is this sentry gun placement from Crafty Dave. Usually the atypical response is to put this sentry gun behind the point on the left hand side, just kind of cover the point slightly, just have it be like an easy target, but it's very difficult to take down because the engineer can just keep pounding away at it. But he's actually opted to go for the sneaky position and anything like that. Does this actually do any work in these sort of high-level games, or...?
I think if it was a big disadvantage on last, then I would favour having the sentry closer to the spawn, because it means that they have to focus it with their Uber. But because it's in slightly...
Oh,
do we see Papio's spy?
I got the stab! Pappy! I only just noticed in the...
I just saw the outline as well.
Yeah, I just saw him. He was like a shadow. He snuck up on me, so he must have snuck up on Turbo. We're intertwined, clearly, in spirits. I felt it, so Turbo must have really felt it.
So they decided to be a bit proactive in the end, and it does work out for them. Pappy with the big spy play. Now they're trying to move out, but they pop, and Elon gets dropped to the sniper on Walker, and this Uber is going disastrously. I don't think they're going to be able to get anything with it. ChampGG might even collapse on them and punish them in lobby here.
Well, there's that sneaky sentry gun paying off for the team eventually. But things have just basically reset here. Not really, I don't want to use the word drop, because that means a whole new meaning for the Uber, but kind of dropped the ball more likely on this push out, and Ratslayer will go down. That is a big pick for this last defense. It's going to stop that area denial of that final capture point, and you can see a bit of area denial coming out by Adiski. He's just played some stickies on the commanded his teammates to go onto that point, and it's very easy. That's some textbook TF2 I've ever seen at News.
Yeah, that was a really clinical push. I'm not quite sure what happened to the Nunya Uber. I guess they were just going with Demo and Soldier, and then when the Soldier died to the Sniper, it was just a solo Demo Uber against players he couldn't follow up. But maybe Ratslayer's gonna try and do something different on this mid TurboTabs, maybe get some actual frags.
I mean, it did well, like just blombing up last time, so if it works, why not do it again? Let's see, and Walker's finding it difficult to even get away from a Soldier, let alone find position to make that bomb in, but it will Yellen will sacrifice his position and therefore his life, and it looks like they actually want to go on aggressive on the Nunya squad as well, but Turbo's laying out some of those crossbows, bringing his team back to the fight like they would never even had to deal with a health advantage. They will be forced to back out over on Nunya, and it looks like they might have to give out their second as well.
Yeah, there was 3 players down there, but the spawns came in, so if I were ChampGG, I'd probably stalemate on mid again and just try and get something. They had a couple soldiers dead, so I would have just picked an off-class straight away, but they're sticking with the cookie cutter lineup, and they're going to try and do a force play, I guess. Last time Tom came in and dropped Condog with it, but this time it's Walker. They know he's trying to come through it, so he's getting a lot of spam on him, and he can't walk in, so they're just going to sort of look for an opportunity. Walker's in now, TurboTabs.
Tom wants to go in as well, but Walker does the job by himself. He seems very reliable when it comes to these solo pop. Oh, the counter pop coming out from Turbo. He's chasing with his scout buddy, Funds. He wants the Condog kill, and he will get it. So that is a heal advantage and an Uber advantage. Oh, speak of the devil, Turbo goes down to Pappy. So they did throw a lot of players away for that kill though, and they're already sending some players to last. That's very greedy coming out from ChampGG, and they're being punished for their greed. Crafty Dave is saying, not on my watch, but there's just too many players from that initial player advantage. So I guess they can afford to get greedy, even if at the cost of Adiski's life. It's 3-0.
Yeah, I think Nunya should be reacting a lot better to these soldier bombs in on second. Walker is a great player, and so is Tom, so it's no wonder that they're doing it pretty consistently, but I can't help but feel there's more that Condog can do, and more that Nunya can do to position themselves better to react to it.
Is it just Condog? Is he not surfing the surfs hard enough? It's really a mystery. Anyway, on to the middle. Right now, both teams are just sticking towards each other's side, kind of playing the psychological warfare, although Pappy kind of sneaked in from the jugular, and now the team is following up on his damage. He's still alive, Pappy, and he will get the final kill, I think, of the mid as well. There's so much death going on, it's actually dipping into the spectator loadout. I can't even see who's dying on the mid news.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of Condog from the second hold you were talking about, he did manage to survive for a long time against aggression from Tom and I think Walker as well, but he did die in the end, so it goes back to what's roughly even Ubers stalemating second. Really nicely played from Nunya on that mid to win it, actually. I think the only thing that sort of didn't work out was that Condog died despite his best efforts at surfing.
Yeah, I guess it goes to show that he's a middle on mid, he's a medic guard, but on these second points, during these stalemate moments, he's falling a bit flat. So maybe he really needs the pressure or the chaos of a mid fight to shine. But I don't know, these mid fights, there's a bit of a struggle for the ChampGG squad, at least in the soldier department. But there's no time to talk about that now. They've taken an Uber in and they've taken out Ratslayer, and they're throwing everybody into this Uber. Everyone's got a nice little flash there. They even pick out Yellen, and they still want to keep going with this. They've got a two-player advantage. I can see why they want to make the push. Kondo does make a nice little surf, but will get picked out by a pipe, and you see Walker's trying to pick off the stragglers here as well. But keep in mind, they've still got that forward respawn, and Ratslayer is actually going to put use to it. They eventually cap off that midpoint. But now it's just gone completely tits up, where they're trying to get behind again as well, and the Nunya squad are trying to catch up with them. And now Turbo's cornered, he's gone down, and Marosh will be following in pursuit, so it will go to Nunya eventually. But we've got the counter forward respawns happening now. It's just taking turns for both of these teams, Nuze.
What we saw there was a really good play from ChampGG. Initially, they were arrow building really well, and they managed to get 2 and 3 frags pushing in across mid. But as they had to keep one back for the cap, and they continued to push, they killed Condog before he got Uber, but then they stayed way too long. And then the respawns came in from...
Oh, wow.
Walker nice. Yeah, so the respawns came in from Nunya, and they were able to clean it up. I really like the idea from ChampGG, but they just overcommitted there. And now they've got a 25% disadvantage, so I think Nunya will be looking to push with that, especially that Walker's still in the respawn queue.
They look like they're well enough in control. They're 3-0 up on the board still, and 10 minutes left. They're going to be feeling the squeeze over on Nunya. I mean, 10 minutes sounds like a long time, but 3 rounds is also a lot in TF2 land. So they will lose their second, however, so maybe they can tighten that 3-0 gap to a 3-1 if they can just pull off this last push.
They're just sending in a soldier set because Turbo managed to get Uber, and he only takes a really big rocket. But
return to sender. Pappy will go back at the sight of that sentry gun and even get slapped out by one of the ChampGG soldiers as well, for good measure.
So yeah, we've got that sentry position that we were talking about earlier with the even Uber's hold, and sniper and spy as well, actually, on Marosh. So we've got 2 pick classes. I guess what they're going to try and do is get Nunya in a position where they're playing for sightlines against a sniper, and get Marosh... Oh, never mind, he was just spy checking. I always get cut off by that. I see spies and I think they're going for plays, but
man, we need
everyone just spy checks these days.
We need the class checking class.
Yeah.
Make it more defined. That would be a class in Overwatch by now.
Just a James Bond in like espionage spy.
It's called the menu class. So another stalemate, but they've got to get on their horses on Nunya. You don't have time to have a little think to yourself, you know.
They've picked up Hems on sniper, so maybe they'll get something with that.
A little slow though. Usually a spy is quite snappy, or a soldier, or just, you know, cookie cutter. You know, things where you're just dedicating in and you're just basing yourself on the skill. But a sniper could take a long time, dude.
Yeah. I don't know, it's going to come down to it. Walker, he's been pretty consistent so far this season, I think, with sniper 1v1s. But aside from that, Funds has moved to sentry into the same position that Crafty Dave had. And I don't think anyone's really got much of a sightline to work with. And with the clock being on 8 minutes, Nunya really need to make something happen if they want to get like a couple of rounds in, because 3 rounds down with 8 minutes against the team of ChampGG's caliber, you need to be making things happen quickly. You need to be taking the risks, because if they're trying to do it slowly at this point, it might just not be enough.
They're going to take all those pre-game cappers and just pump it into their confidence here. They need to just, you know, man up and make a push. I know they've got the sniper now, and oh god, they've lost that sniper. So I would just be returning to cookie cutter as immediately as possible. Just get that scouting. Let's get this timer rolling, because they need to play for winning to win, not pay to. Not, you know, just... What I'm trying to say is they want to play to win, but they don't want to just pussy out and be afraid to lose, is what I'm saying.
But Tom gets in a position from lower and manages to force Condog. This will be disastrous for Nunya. They're not even going into last because they know they can't do anything with it. Hems has picked up the spy though, so they're going to rely on that. I think they're expecting ChampGG to push out with their Uber advantage when Tom spawns, but they might just be content to hold last. It can be really good when you're playing spy as the other team's starting to push out because they're always looking forward and they're not expecting it. So maybe Hems can pull off something here, but I think ChampGG are happy to just sit on last.
I don't know what on earth he's going to do. The pick he needs to get is either on a Disky or over on Turbo, but they're in impossible position. Well, he consolidates himself for the Tom pick instead, but Tom's going to be alive in like 10 seconds time, so that's fine in their books. That's no big problem. It's just a soldier at the end of the day, and it's not going to have a massive blip on the overall plan of ChampGG. But just the way that Reckoner's positioned right now, and look, Turbo's even in the respawn fully, so there's absolutely nothing they could even come up with that could touch him right now. They just need to make a very good push.
The ball is in Nunya's court. They're the ones that need to make the play right now because ChampGG are not going to be moving, and they lose 2. They lose 2 for that, 1 soldier and the spy as well, so with only 1 of each class left alive for Nunya, I think ChampGG should be looking to push this. I wouldn't be content to hold last. And they get another pick onto Pappy. They send Walker in for the sack, but he doesn't get the damage, and they're still not pushing out. They're just going to keep their off classes and hold last with their 3-round advantage, and I don't think I agree with this, TurboTabs.
I think it's because they had that Walker snipe. Well, no, the Mara sniper, I should say. I keep mixing them up. They keep changing on sniper so much, but they had a sniper during that push out, and from there you really need that double scout to make the clear-cut chase and cap. So they will pull off a nice defense, attack over on Nunya so far. They've taken out the sentry gun and they've only popped towards the final tail end of this Uber. They do lose the medic, but that's fine. He's done his job now. They just need to get all these combat classes and fragging other people with these guns. But Walker's opening the kills over onto his team already, and you can see the DM is just a bit stronger for ChampGG news.
Yeah, but Pappy is on spy, so he could be getting a back up here, but no, Walker is staying on last, so that's pretty much a lost cause.
Did they went into that push with a player down practically already, and he got found out anyway? What?
Oh my god. Walker just shoots the ground where he thinks a spy would be, and I guess his ESB pays off. He's a hacker confirmed. But Yillin's in on Turbo as they walk into mid, and he gets the pick. So if Nunya play this right, they should be having an Uber advantage, but there's some counter-aggression from the ChampGG players, and they get a lot of picks. Ratslayer backing out a mid on 16 HP, and with 4 minutes left, I think we're entering the garbage time, TurboTabs.
Yeah, no, I'm flicking to my caster book news, and it's telling me to never give up the hype, but how can I follow that rule when 4 minutes are left on the clock? They've already capped middle, they're practically crawling all over Nunya, even though they've got a medic advantage, and they've got 3 rounds to claw back just to get a tie. I can't do it, News. It's impossible. Maybe Bren can, but I can't.
Just channel your inner DJC and get hype.
And it's easy to be Nunya right now. They're just the best players in the world.
We do see a fight coming in on mid where Condog, the best medic in the world, does die to a bomb. And in the ensuing fight, ChampGG are just cleaning up the players, and it's just Ratslayer left alive. Baited his team nicely for that push. I'm just kidding, but yeah, I think we should be seeing another round here potentially for ChampGG, unless they decide to just hold second with Uber Charge and win 3-0 by waiting out the time. But I would lose some respect for my team if they did that. So.
Well, it's okay, News. I mean, this is just the starter of a long haul meal for tonight. This is just the entree of the main course, which will be our next map, Product. Now that's a wildcard map, News.
Yeah, because it's a lot more about the just raw mechanics and being coordinated on Viaduct. And I think those are 2 of Nunya's strengths compared to a lot of their other weaknesses. But as that is being said, the ChampGG Uber comes in top left, and they get the pick onto Ratslayer. That's a crucial one. They should be able to play the point with these here. 2 more frags coming in, Crafty Dave Pappy, and the sentry goes down as well. And now they're just playing the point, and there's nothing Nunya can do about it.
They might be able to squeeze in a mercy rule here over on ChampGG. That would be stylish, and who knows? Maybe if comes to those tiebreakers at the very end of the season. I know at the previous season we had to bring some of those in as well. Rounds do make a somewhat of a big part of it if it really comes down to it.
Yeah, it can do, and I think it's always better to secure as many rounds as you can rather than being content with small victories. But going into this third mid, Nunya are rolling out on the right side. ChampGG are meeting them on the left, and they get the entry pick on Ratslayer. Some weak players for Nunya. They get the counter picks on Franz, Turbo, and Adiski, and it's just Marosh and Walker left alive against Crafty Dave, who's on 25 HP. And if he gets even one pick here, he'd be doing pretty well, and he does.
I mean, that was very good to say it was 2v1. Marosh spent most of the time just finding the scout, but it looked so good for ChampGG. The position just looked a lot better. They had them practically surrounded in a nice little firing range. But I'm going to give credit to Nunya there. They seemed to do the impossible and turned it around as much as they could. Just went balls deep into one direction, and it did take out a lot of players during that fierce little punch in from Nunya.
What we see now is ChampGG, with 55 seconds left, they're arrow building, and they're looking to create an advantage here to just go, okay, maybe they're not, they're just deciding that they need to go. And they're walking in lower, and they're just going to try and get some damage and secure the point here. Tom jumps in, they get some good damage onto Yelan and the Pocket Scout, but they're losing frags to Stickies
Oh
and
no,
Hems.
they've lost Condor! No, he had a Crits Creek nose! No! It could have been perfect. Ratslayer could have just lit the entire ChampGG on fire, but Walker coming huge for his team, getting that pick that would have turned the whole thing around.
Funz is going into last, and he's got 50 health against Hems, who's 125. 15 seconds left. It might come down to a 1v1 on last. We know Walker's good at those, and he does win it, but the spawns come in for Nunya, so
it's the final boss for Walker. He's doing a really good job of it. What the hell? Okay, now his minions come out, and yeah, Adiski even going for the fast demo man rollout to kind of catch up to his buddy. Sadly, though, he will have like 10 HP and die to a cough. 4-0 is the final score news.
It's a pretty dominant performance from ChampGG. One thing I was going to mention, I was watching the warm-up games, and they were looking pretty tilted, I'd say. They were playing Arctic Foxes, and while they were playing well, most of them individually, there was just a few mistakes that people weren't really happy with. But I'm glad they kind of picked up and stayed composed for the first map of the official. The second map being Viaduct. Now, with Viaduct, like I was saying, it's a much more wildcard map. And I think they're probably a lot more vulnerable to tilting on that map.
Oh my.
That's why I think it might be a bit closer than this first map.
Yeah, I had an internal debate with myself. As I was thinking, should the vote emote? Wow, that rhymes actually. Should the vote emote be PogChamp for ChampGG, or should it be Baby Rage? Because that team has got so many tilters on it, and it do live or die by whether or not Tom and Tiger can hold their composure together, because they are I see them as the two linchpins of the team.
Yeah, I think they have a tendency to kind of get ahead of themselves a little bit and not make sure that their team's, supporting them and communicating properly. But I think they've been improving at that, and I think it showed in that first map there. Maybe they were just a bit anxious in the warm up, but I think they're on track, and they've got the momentum going into the second map. On the other hand, Nunya really need to be digging deep to find something to come back into this. I think they were expecting to lose this match 6-0 on both or losing both maps, that is. But I think they should aim for higher things. They should try and get at least a map, or a point if it was a golden cap on the previous map. But I don't know. I think they could give ChampGG a good fight here. What about you?
I mean, with that substitute of Crafty Dave, and you were telling me how he's much more of a outplay sort of player, where he just goes balls deep. I think that's the perfect sort of player you need for a Viaduct map. So if Crafty is hitting all the marks, then maybe they can climb back into this, as we are greeted with some logs news. I guess we should probably digest those before we move on to the next meal of the day. So first thing I see on these logs up on stream is, of course, I'm going to look at damage, because that's how I just profile people, and it's the Walker damage. Good God, that is a high amount of damage for a roaming soldier. 8,000. Whew.
Yeah, just kind of dominating. 11 headshots as well. That's insane.
Wow. That's like Flippy level.
Yeah, almost half of his frags coming from
I mean,
his sniper
he didn't even spend the majority. I wouldn't say he spent the majority time on sniper
I would
either.
have said
so
he spent quite a small amount of it.
He's effective.
And not only that, something I see that's quite impressive is Funds playing the Pocket Scout with 25-8, and that's quite an impressive KD if you ask me.
That's a halfy cool set of stats there. Staying alive, listening to every cry of your medic,
taking almost as little damage as the medics as well. So
just to put
Funds played pretty well on that.
Yeah, just to put things in perspective, news. Turbo died more than Funds did.
Wow. Adiski as well with 8 deaths, so just really well played from the combo of ChampGG, I guess, staying alive when they need to. I think most of the times Turbo was dying was either on mids or just getting caught off slightly on second. But
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think it seems like a pretty dominant performance from ChampGG. Everyone on Nunya kind of had expected frag differentials, no one really underperforming or anything. I just think ChampGG slowly ground it out and in the end secured each of those 4 rounds.
So I think we do have some other slides over on the logs thing. I guess we can quickly just flick through them whilst we talk about that. Hopefully our production guy can turn to the next page, but it's not loading apparently. Oh no! Panic basket. That should have been the voter mode. Alright, so it's not loading on our screen, so we're just going to move past it, just take what we've been given, and in the meantime I want to talk about Product a bit more. Let's just end the log segment news. Logs are overrated anyway.
Yeah. Logs don't mean anything. They're just nice to look at.
Yeah, they're just it's a bit strange really when me and you were having a little chat about how much logs have taken over the community and how people get obsessed with them a while back, and now it's players will play their entire playstyle just because they want to get good logs. Nobody cares about the team anymore, dude.
I've been thinking about making a video talking about that because it's an interesting thing that's happened. People are obsessed with the air shots and high DPM. Whereas when I started playing and when a lot of the older players started playing, it was all about your scoreboard points and that kind of thing. So scouts would love to cap points because they would get 2 points for each cap, and then I can remember. Do you remember the sentry for a medic was a mark of greatness? I remember Flushy got recruited into Team Infuse back in the day just because he got 120 points as medic. Yeah, I remember this.
Numlock just literally went like, "Yeah, guys, we should pick him up. Yeah, he's the greatest medic ever. 120 points. What?"
Oh, Flushy's great. Well, we have 12 players on the server right now, so they might be starting pretty soon. But going into this, what are we thinking? I would expect Marosh and Funds to have big performances, because if you look at the KDs and how they performed in the last game, 17 for 7 for Marosh and 25 for 8 for
I've just looked at the log section and it has eventually loaded with me, but it's all loaded in one go. I've got an amalgamation of points capped by zone, while Nemesis and everything. I'm gonna close that netbook there, kill that beast.
I can just about make out from looking at the the page Funds and Marosh with positive frag differentials on a lot of the Nunya players. So
it's like telling me Marosh had a 80% conversion rate over Hems. Good God, Hems, you need to step up your game. Alright, distractions aside, let's go. What about this product map news? What were we talking about actually?
Yeah, well, if you look at those frag differentials that we can barely see, Marosh and Funds having pretty strong games. I think Marosh was 17 for 7, Funds was 25 for 8. So if they're feeling pretty good going into this, everyone knows Product is a scout map. And I think it just comes down to, who plays tighter with their heals and who focus fires better. But that being said, we're going into the first mid, and I'd like to see some soldier aggression from Nunya. I'd like to see Ratslayer following up across the point so they can put some pressure on the scouts.
You're going to be very disappointed because they're deciding to running a sniper to middle, news. That is, they've done the deed with the devil and they've decided to sell out to the sniper class. And Yellen hasn't really impressed so far. He hasn't even poked his head out. not much DPS, but it looks like they don't even need him. They're doing a good job at it, but Walker controls that sniper before he even contributes to his team, and he's ganging up behind them now. He even follows up on the Rat Slayer kill as well. He's hunting for more. He needs more. He wants the Pappy kill, and he gets that Pappy kill. That's a 3-kill streak for the man.
I think maybe a bit of overconfidence there from Adiski. After they killed the medic, they were like, "All right, let's just play with our heals. We'll clean up all the other guys slowly." And Adiski's on the point trying to pan the other demo while Pappy comes and kills Turbo. So he's getting a bit ahead of himself. They should maybe get their heads in the game a bit more, because they might get a bit of a surprise.
Oh, Adiski read the Yellen play, and he's got a sticky trap just for that boy there. He's been taken out, but they're doing a good job of actually just making a beast of it. Good God, what the hell is... How are they dying so much? They just must be launching themselves into the ground for them, forgiving Nunya for the initial mid-fight. Adiski will sit back, and Walker's even pulled out his own sniper rifle. He's taken out Hem's... and it will be eventually Yellen is still rocking the sniper rifle despite dying ever so quickly during all this fighting, and they've managed to claw back the point over on ChampGG. Walker even having a bit of a spout with Yellen now, but they've got the point. There we go. There it is.
Crazy aggression from ChampGG walking onto the mid there. Really good bomb from Tom and a lot of damage put out, but now I think with a 40% Uber advantage and they're holding point, they should really focus on not dying here, because any picks that Nunya get can turn to their favour with the spawn advantage. That being said, Pappy aggresses on the right side, nearly kills Tom but dies for it. And I think the Nunya players are just getting isolated. There's 2 picks going down and ChampGG's health is pretty decent. Walker gets a pick on Yellen as well, and this is going badly for Nunya, TurboTabs.
News. At what point as a team do you think, like, okay, the sniping should stop? The sniping is not good for our team. Because all I see is Yellen coming back a sniper, dying a sniper. Coming back a sniper, dying a sniper. He's not doing anything, News.
Well, it looks like they think now's pretty much a good time to stop, because he has switched to Cowmangler Soldier, so...
Disgusting.
So some more unlocks in the game, and Condor dies to Walker. Walker, 11 headshots in the first map, and so far, I think that's 5 already. He's having the game of his life on Sniper.
They need just a player that's full-time on Walker duty, just getting behind and dealing with that class, and Hems is going to be that player. He does find the Walker kill, but his entire team died trying to get Turbo, and Condor will come back alive, and they will start building that now. So Turbo even gets an uber advantage just from staying alive during all that.
Yeah, but with the spawn advantage, they got 2-player advantage coming into this, so they're pushing Nunya across the point, Pappy aggressing onto Cliff and Yellen on the other side. They get Condog with a sticky trap, but there might be enough damage here for Nunya to do
They
something.
need to play around Turbo though. Turbo needs to stay alive if... oh, he goes down. Every time I say Turbo's name, he just dies. I've cursed. I'm sorry, brother.
Yeah, but they capped really quickly, so ChampGG are going to have really quick spawns, while Condog and Pappy are only coming up to the fight now, so I think Walker's still on Sniper. If he can hit a shot as an entry, they should be taking this point back pretty quickly. At least that's what I'd hope they do.
And they don't want to really deal with him as well. They're playing incredibly passive, and what it does to the team is it destroys all these sightlines on them. They have to compromise the positions, and you can tell that ChampGG, once they've got them in these horrible nooks and crannies, it's very easy for their soldiers just to play off. Or Tom, namely, because he is the only soldier for ChampGG right now. But it may look like Walker didn't do much there, but I think he did the most there just by denying area of for Nunya.
Adiski and Tom combining for, I think, 5 frags in the last push as Walker gets another body shot pick onto Condor. So Nunya are pushing into this point without heals. They can do it, they just need to get some frags for the next push. They don't, they lose Nunya, New Zealand to start with, and everyone else just collapses. Turbo is so weak, 12 HP, but no pistol coming out from him to clean him up, and ChampGG are playing really well at just holding the point and focusing the people when they get on it, and it would be a miracle for Nunya to delay the round ending on the cap, because it's just a little bit of overtime. And yeah, the first round going to ChampGG.
Alright, Nuze, you're going to have to do some charity work here. Pretend that you're the coach of Nunya right now. What would you say to your troops to just change what they're doing wrong here on this this product map? And wait a minute, no time. Okay, I thought that was the second round, right?
No, that was the first round.
Oh wow, it was a long first round there. Good God, I thought that was a very long time passing. So this will be our second round entering this middle. Nunya kind of just being wrapped around by the entire team of ChampGG. They actually it's just a bit of more DM showing off for ChampGG there. It looked a bit of a blender as both teams both attempt to flank one another, and it just ended up being a huge mess. And again, it just goes back to that DM trump card for ChampGG.
It's like what we were talking about with the 7 game this week. It's not really worth it trying to focus the medic, because the rest of the team's just going to try and protect him, and he's going to try and dodge. I think Nunya need to not be focusing Turbo and try and get the picks on the soldiers who are really forward. That being said, they're coming in. Good damage onto Tom, and they do get the first soldier pick. Walker's on soldier this time rather than sniper, so they might be able to win this fight, but Uber comes out from Turbo and they're trying to clean up frags. They get Crafty Dave. Hems is out of position and he's probably going to die as well. Ratslayer and Condog going down in the back lines to Adiski and Funds, and there's not really any consolation. No silver lining to this cloud for Nunya.
You can tell they forgot about that Uber news. They thought they didn't even know that was a mechanic in the game then. They just suddenly saw some bright coloured players running towards them and they just wouldn't die. So maybe the Uber's been lost in translation during all that chaos and fighting and just time passing by.
Crafty Dave on the Pyro TurboTabs. So
that is I mean, I think this is what happens when you watch a Viaduct game on the... I think they were expecting a forward hold, so they come out with the Pyro and they're like, oh, they're not forward holding. Okay then, let's switch back from that Pyro.
Yeah, the only off classes are Tom on Sniper actually this time, and Hems on Sniper.
The Tom Sniper? This is a
Tom
rare
Sniper,
moment.
yeah,
Take
I want
a
to see
picture.
this. Oh, Ratslayer jumped in deep. They're going for a suicide on Turbo, and they got some damage, but not quite enough to get
and
the
the Tom
force.
Slayer. The Sniper dies. That's probably a reason why we don't see the Tom Sniper too much.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen Tom snipe in a match or even in a BCW, so I'm not sure why they tried it now. But I guess they're just going for the 2 scout sniper thing. Some aggression from Pappy, dies instantly to focus fire, and Condog drops to a Disky sticky trap. More aggression onto Turbo from Hems, or Crafty Dave even, doing his ballsy plays and gets the force. So credit to him for that, but with 50 seconds left and another spawn wave, they're not going to have time for another Uber. So Nunya really need to be focus firing good with this next push. They need to isolate the people that are far too forward, which for ChampGG is usually the soldiers, and then they need to play around their medic and not take too much spam. I think they might just not be able to with the mechanical skill of some of the ChampGG players, but it looks like they're going to give it a try, TurboTabs.
I mean, they're not only going to win the round, they're also going to destroy the morale over on Nunya as well. They need to get the camp point at least once, remove that 3-minute mark, because that's just depressing to look at, and Walker is making it difficult for them. He will eventually cap the points, so hooray, we ran away from the 3-minute mark, but they've lost so many players during all of that, and it was an easy trade for ChampGG to make. It was just giving them the rope for them to strangle with, compromising their position so much that they lost so many players. Marosh is going on a killing spree right now. He's hunting down, he smells blood, and he will eventually back off because even Marosh isn't manly enough to go back into the spawn depths of Nunya.
Yeah, and it looks like we're going to see another suicide attempt onto the point. Maybe not. Crafty Dave content to just die and give them the round.
So news about that charity work, that coaching, they need it. What's your word?
It looks like they enter into the point and they're taking a fight and it's going all right. It's never too bad, but then I think 3 of the last 4 times or something, it's just they lose a pick to the sniper and then it goes disastrously from there. So maybe send a soldier in deep behind and try and put pressure on the sniper. Maybe that would work, but it doesn't look like they're going
to
for
that. Do you hear
issue.
that, corn dog? Sniper must die. Go, go, go. Move, move, move. And the only thing I see right now is Tom is actually doing a decent job of actually getting behind as well. But they've traded all the players so far, but they've got 2 scouts over on the ChampGG side still alive, and with a medic and a sniper, that's really like... combines together to make like 0.75 of a player really to contribute. But they haven't capped off the midpoint yet. Nobody's capped this midpoint. Objective Gaming, please, ChampGG, Nunya, anybody.
It was actually quite nice for them to play the cap there. They knew who that Condog lived. Ratslayer going down to a snipe. And Adiski's bombing in actually, and they drop Condog! Oh, that should never happen. Wow, that's a really strong retake from ChampGG. Walker hitting 2 or 3 headshots, and Hadiski setting up for the forward hold, it looks like. Wow, that was... I got caught off guard with that bomb in from Hadiski and Tom there.
As a famous ex-television merchandise t-shirt says, "Pop it, don't drop it, news." They need to just maybe play a little bit more safer with these Ubers. I mean, you're playing against some teams that are heavily outplaying you here. Maybe you should be a bit more concerned to just getting a Uber out and not trying to milk it for all it's worth.
I think this push might go Nunya's way if they get a couple more frags. Because they did get a soldier behind to pressure the sniper and they got a pick on the overextending soldier, but again the Uber comes in. If Condor gets this Uber it might go alright, but he's on 86%. It's actually crits.
He's gone down again, anyway. Of course. I think Corndog's the one that's died the most in the server.
I wouldn't be surprised at this rate.
So they've got the walk-on sniper again. Oh, nice little switch out. Tom is going to lay the hammer towards him, but he will go down eventually. Turbo's actually the one that's going to get the finishing kill. Maybe he's the one that should be pocketing himself. So the scout, Marosh, will come in and clean up those final 2 kills if they expended all their ammo. But how do you keep the motivation alive over on Nunya when you're at this point of the game, news?
I'm not sure they have an answer for Walker sniping. He's on 49 points right now with a 5 kill streak, more than his medic, and he's just... It doesn't seem like he's missing very often, so... I guess counter sniping or just anything to relieve some pressure from that sniper. They're looking to spam him with scouts just now as they're walking into the point. They get a pick on the demo, so Nunya are just... They're not playing closely enough to heals as they're walking in.
They want to go in. They're trying to go in, but when they enter from the front, both of them, they just get minced by the scouts. They're just dying before they even hit the ground. And they're chasing the cunt dogger kill again. Of course he dies. Take a drink, news.
It's almost a bit disappointing. A bit sad. They haven't even touched the cap this round. It's still on 3 minutes. And ChampGG coming up on 40 seconds, so... Just enough time to get 1 Uber charge. I think they were on crits last time I checked.
And they're going for crits again now.
Yeah, they still are. But Ratslayer dies to Walker again, who's on a 7 kill streak there with us.
Oh, and Yellen, he's actually managed to find his way in, but he's been kited and Turbo just pops off his safety net. So I guess Yellen can be happy in that fact that he's forced out the Uber, but they're trying to pick up the pieces with it. They find Crafty Dave, but on the bright side, they kept Corndog alive. Mission accomplished, news.
But Hadiski is on, he's on heavy actually, on Cliff, and he gets 1 pick onto
Hems
and another onto Pappy. Hadiski with the god
1
play.
HP wonder.
This is the new metagame, boys.
Is he going to take out Corndog again? Oh no, actually he just mans up and walks into him. Get walked on, says Marsh.
And that is it. That is the game. So yeah, interesting one. I think that second map was a lot more of Walker sniping, just dominating the game than I would have expected. He had a massive performance on both maps, so credit to him. He's been playing really well this season, just in general.
We both gave him a chance, news. We said, Nunya, this is their map. If there's any map that's going to claw them against this team, it had to be this map. But this map looked like the worst of them all. I don't think they...
I think, like we were saying, it is a wildcard map, and it had potential to be one of Nunya's stronger maps, but at the same time, it's probably ChampGG's strongest map when they're playing it like they were today, because the talent on some of their players just really shines, especially the 3 players that are still on the server, Franz, Marosh and Walker. They can do ridiculous things when they've got heals and they're just fighting on a point. They can put out so much damage and secure so many frags that I don't think Nunya had quite the talent to answer it.
We saw a bit of 7 product the other day, and that was a bit of a scary thing to behold. But now that I've watched and seen ChampGG's product with my very own eyes, it looks good. You know, that's a match I want to see, news.
Yeah, from PCW results at least, that's one of the only maps that... Well, not one of the only maps. Usually the PCWs between ChampGG and 7 are like slow games, relatively close, but 7 usually get a few rounds up on them, but Viaduct's usually really close between them, so if we see that in playoffs or either in their fixture at the end of the season, then it should be pretty good to watch. I think they're definitely the 2 strongest teams on it right now, and maybe the Walker Sniper will do a lot against 7 as well, but I don't know.
Oh, while I try and quit out of the game, News, you're going to have to break down the death by numbers.
Wow. I'm looking at the logs here that have just been brought up, and I almost can't believe what I'm seeing. 520 DPM, and his KD is 25-2. Walker,
What?
with one of the most dominant performances I've seen in a Prem match in a long time.
That's like a reverse sideshow.
He almost single-handedly denied every push. 13 headshots. That was insane. Funds as well, 25 for 7. Adiski 15-6. Everyone on Champ with good KDs, except maybe Tom, who often plays the initiating role. And really nothing much to say about Nunya. They were just a bit lackluster in comparison.
God, he needs to change his name again, News, from Walker to Sniper. He's a beast. Gone up in my personal ranks of snipers just from this game alone.
Yeah, I've not seen a Viaduct sniper like on that caliber in a while. Maybe he was just having a really good day.
Yeah.
But I'd like to see more of it as the season progresses, because he's not being usually the people that sniper scout mains. You know, this could be the next jukebox, the next roamer that hits the insane headshots all the time. But maybe we're getting ahead of ourselves.
We've seen a nice game. Let's call back a bit. I think if Jukebox Hero was saying that, he would come into this channel and slap both of our heads together. But I'm trying to see if there's any interesting stat, but my eyes just keep darting back to that headshot count. I just can't keep my eyes away. But
it's pretty ridiculous.
Both of the soldiers over on... Oh, no, we're going to medic stats. Adiski with his atypical percentage on a Viaduct map. I mean, pretty standard. You're going to get the majority of the heals. And Tom and Walker kind of play this almost pseudo double roamer style anyway on the team. So I'm not too surprised there.
Another thing I'm getting reminded of now, looking at the medic stats that I forgot to mention, is there were quite a few poor mistakes, I guess from all of Nunya, but with Condog dropping 2 Ubers, there were 2 quite poor Ubers to drop. It wasn't like there was a spy that they didn't know about or anything. It was like sticky traps that could have been checked because people had already walked through them, that kind of stuff. So there was a lot of deaths on Condog that I really think are quite big mistakes from Nunya.
Sorry to interrupt you, News, but I've just noticed that Corndog had such a bleak game that the logs are actually, void of some stats. Like, they've actually taken out some fields because he doesn't apply. He doesn't apply. He's actually... I don't think I've ever seen that. Oh, well, I'm sorry, Corndog, but it's... I've never seen three fields.
He didn't get a single Uber charge.
He didn't get a single Uber charge. He just...
Wow. I was looking for the average Uber length stat, and then I realised that he has 0 charges.
He doesn't have deaths within 20 seconds after Uber because he never had an Uber. He doesn't have average Uber length because he doesn't have an Uber. He doesn't have anything.
Wow,
you know what? He didn't even have death. Wait, what? That can't be right. Oh, right. Okay, yeah. If he dropped twice, then yeah, he did get to 2 Ubers, but he never got to pop them. I was looking at the deaths with 95 plus to 99% Uber. I was like, oh my god, did he not even get to that part of the... Alright, okay. Scale back here. We're going e-bullying now. We need to go and change...
Well, another stat I just brought up. 10k damage more for ChampGG. That's pretty ridiculous.
It was a fireworks show, to say the least. Well, yep, that's more red. That's a lot more red.
Yep,
more red. It's like looking at my bank statement right now. Ooh.
Yeah, there's not much to be said.
Yeah, there's just red.
Lots of red.
Yep.
And more red, a bit of blue on the right, but it's really the same thing. Ooh. I think we need a closer game for a cast next week. TurboTabs.
I think we need to call Childline. There's people that have been abused on this. So.
We got this week was 4-0-3-0. Last game that we casted was 5-0-3-0. So hopefully some closer games coming up, because
the bullies of the playground 7 and ChampGG are just shitting on all the little weak nerds.
Yeah. Newcomers Nunya are just And not enjoying their first season, it looks like.
Welcome to Prem. Okay.
What other games are on this week, or any games still to be casted?
There is one other game, but it escapes me now. I believe it's the top 5 game, maybe? Maybe. But in the meantime, I know that everybody is probably darting over to Team Fortress TV 1, so I'm going to take this moment to suggest you guys do the same who's still watching out there. I don't think there's going to be any interviews. Usually, ChampGG are quite punctual, and if they want to interview, they'll be in here immediately. And I'm sure they're doing the same as what we're going to do. We're going to watch the other game as well. So, I don't think there's anything we've glossed over. It feels really short news. Is there anything we've forgotten?
I mean, it was almost nice that it's a short game because we can watch the other one. But yeah, no, I think we covered what we needed to cover.
Alright, okay, well, if you're just joining us, then sadly you've just missed our coverage of ETF2L Season 26 powered by TT. Oh, I just remembered what we forgot. We can do shout-outs. News, have you got any shout-outs?
Shout-outs to Walker and the rest of the boys in Champ for making me proud of this game.
And I'm going to give a personal shout-out to everyone who was watching out there, and a big shout-out to Nicel, who did our cool little polling system using emotes. Now I can vote with my memes. I hope this could happen in the upcoming elections as well. But okay. So thank you to Side. Thank you to everybody behind the scenes at Team Fortress TV. I'm going to give a big shout out to our production guy, Amik. We didn't really have a chance to introduce him because of my very long-winded intro, so forgive me, Amik. I will give you an extra follow onto your Twitch TV stream, Amik__. Alright, plugs have been made. Let's carry on with the initial outro. So, ETF2L Season 26, powered by T Sports. This was Week 4. Product, Reckoner, ChampGG, Nunya. A big thank you to Nuze joining me on the co-cast as well. If you guys have just tuned in, you can still catch this game over on our YouTube. I've gotten into a good habit of actually uploading these as soon as possible, Nuze. It's unbelievable. So, and we also have a Discord if you want to play some Team Fortress to talk about it. We also have our Facebook and Twitter if you want to talk to us at hashtag polling thing. I haven't got a hashtag prepared, but I think I've covered all the bases now. Oh yeah, how could I forget? That little old site called teamfortress.tv is where you'll find all of your 6v6 coverage needs, as well as forums, news, events. There's so much to see there. You've got to find it. I've been TurboTabs. Thanks for joining us. See you next time.